Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to Homecoming. A new thing has been birthed today, and we give all the praise to the God of heaven. I see you, Sylvia, Chima, Nkiru, Mary, Rita, everyone. As you come in, thank you for joining us. Please share the link. Please like the stream. Please just share. Hi, Chika, I can see you. Felicia, welcome, welcome. Okwayemi, welcome. God bless you. As you all know, my name is Mark-Mordi. Hey, Mainaji, God bless you. Ifoma, welcome. Good evening. Welcome, Deborah. I want everyone to, as you come in, please remember to share. Hi, Star Daisy. Good evening. God bless you. Psalm 4, good evening. Welcome. Toyin, good evening. Samachi, whoops. Yes, as you come in, begin to tell others that we are live. We are live. It is homecoming, a reunion of all people BMM. The reunion of all people BMM. There are a few things that I want to quickly say before we get into today's business. All of this program from start to beginning will be a maximum of 1 hour, 30 minutes. I'll teach for a bit of that, and then I'll feed questions. And in between, we'll have people come in who have things to say to you. Please note that this is streaming only on YouTube. So even if you copy the link and you post on Facebook, it is just so that people can come to you to YouTube. So please do that. I'd appreciate if you shared it. Call your brothers, call your sisters, tell them it is time for homecoming. My name is Mark-Mordi, and my life work is to help you become. There are many things I can tell you about me, but I'll rather show you who I am and the things that I'm called to do. So today is homecoming, and we are looking at the subject matter of gifts and talents. Your gifts and your talents. We're looking at them and we're asking ourselves, so what are your gifts? What are your talents? Are they good? Are they bad? What does it take for a gift to be good? What does it take for a talent to be bad? Those are the things we're going to look at today. Do you come from the shop with a good talent, or you come from the shop with a bad one? What exactly happens to determine what the value of your gift or your talent? All of those things, I'm waiting for you to share the link, like the stream, so that others can come. So I'm waiting for you to do that. It's going to take you a bit of time, I know that, and I'm waiting for you to do that quickly. As soon as that is done and people come in, I'll begin to share with you today what I want to share with you. So please call your friends, tell them to come in. You know, when people ask me, Stabi, what's your life work? I say to them that I am a kingmaker and I'm called to help you become. So this evening is another opportunity for me to activate some of you, for me to jumpstart some of you into the place where you begin your journey of becoming. And we're in an economic situation around the globe where everyone must know what their best use is. And so this evening we'll be having a bit of best use conversations. We'll be talking about dominions. We'll be talking about what God packed in you from the shop to come. We'll be looking at a few things that would help you get where you need to go. So please remember, share, remember to like. I need your brothers and sisters to come in and join us. You see, this is going to be one of the best things that happened to you in the month of February. Will be one of the best things that happened to you in the month of February. And are you not grateful? It's coming to you at the last day of the month of February. So you can be sure that you're going to start your March on a fantastic note. So please share the link. Ask your friends to come. Tell them something is happening on YouTube that is free and would benefit them. Tell them it's free, absolutely free, and it's for their benefit. It is absolutely free, and it will be of great benefit to them. Are you doing that already? Please do that quickly. Thank you. is going to be a great evening. I can already tell that it is a great evening in the sight of the God of heaven, and you are going to bless the name of the Lord that you lived to see this day. So, a bit of my story. When people look at me today, they don't tend to see that I've been on a journey. Everybody sees who we are today, and it doesn't it's not peculiar to me, but you see people and you are inspired by them, and your next train of thought is to think that they came from heaven like that they landed here and all their lives they've been they've been people who have done well every step of the way. But what if I told you my journey did not exactly begin like that? My journey did not begin with me not, with me just being able to do all the things that I do. I'll take you back to a few years, and I've told this story a few times, and I want to repeat it. A few years, well, I use the expression a few years now, but it's been quite some time. I was that person that every August, as the month of August begins to come to an end, you find me in a slump. And that slump always starts with, I start to review my year. That is in September, I start that early to review my year. And as I begin to review my year, I begin to realize that I haven't done much with my year. I start every year with, oh, I'm going to do great things this year. And then by September, I'm looking at myself and I'm realizing that I have not been able to do much with my life. And that usually will begin that slump. And by November, I'm in full-blown depression. Everyone around me has to tiptoe around me because they're looking at me. They know I'm sad, I'm weepy, all of those things that depressed people do. And the simple reason is I've looked at my life and I've looked at the people around me and I have concluded that my life did not amount to anything. The interesting thing is that I am not different from that person today. The only difference is that I am no longer that person who finds herself in a slump once the year is coming to an end. I have taken charge of my life and I have learned things that have empowered me to continue to move on and be the person that God has called me to be. One of the things I learned in that season where, I'd cry and cry and cry and cry was one day someone said to me, you need to figure out why this is your yearly cycle. Why is it that every September you are losing your mind? So what did you do from January to August? That is September. What can you do, or what will you do differently from January through August that will make your September different? And when that person said that to me, I guess the person had gotten tired of this thing that at the end of every year, I'm in a funk, I'm in a slump and all of that. And they were tired of tiptoeing around me. They just wanted me to get it, and they wanted me to get it. So after that person said that thing to me, I sat down to think about my life. And I realized that they had a point, because at the beginning of every year, I usually would begin with that mindset of, yay, this is a great year. My life is going to change. This and that and that and that is about to happen to me. And then I end up not being able to do anything with my aspirations, with all the plans that in my head I made. And by September, I'm in depressed mode. So one year I decided that I was going to do differently. And what I did differently was to find out for myself. I had to ask myself some vital questions. And the big question I asked in that season was, what is it that is stopping you? Because it's not that I do not have aspirations. I had aspirations. I just did not know how to translate those aspirations to reality. I couldn't execute, even though I had plans. So I had to ask myself, why is it that you find it difficult to execute? What is it about the way you're doing life that is making it difficult for you to deploy your gifts and do the things that you want to do with your life? The first thing that I realized was that I did not take seriously what God had endowed me with. That's where we are going to start this conversation from this evening. I did not take seriously what God had endowed me with. I had looked at my gifts, I had looked at my capacities and my abilities, and I had drawn one conclusion. What was my conclusion? Not good enough, too simple, too small, not powerful enough, not a good gift, not a great gift. And because I looked down at what I had been given, I couldn't do much with what I had been given. The question is, what was I given? What was it that God had endowed me with? What was it that was an easy gift that I had that I didn't think was good enough? And it was the gift of words. At that point in my life, and for all of my life, I don't think that the gift of words is a gift that I will ever give up. The capacity to take words and put them together and they will make sense. That was my gifting and that was my journey. But I had always looked at the gift of words, and I'll look around me and I'll say to myself, not good enough, not big enough, cannot deliver anything positive. Especially because I also had people around me who said to me there was nothing special about being able to use words. Because think about it, everybody else can speak. So what's the thing about my own life that makes me think that the capacity to string words together was anything special that anybody had to carry on their head? And why on earth did anyone think that that was enough to bring them to a place of fulfillment? Let's not even talk wealth yet. Let's talk fulfillment. So by the time I thought about it, I realized that I did not, even by myself, I did not reckon that what I had was good enough. And that set me on a path. I needed to find out if what I had was good enough or not. Now, all of us go around thinking that, oh, somebody has a great voice. And therefore, because they have a great voice, that voice will deliver greatness. But that's not what I found out. What I found out was a gift is a gift is a gift. What that meant was I could use words just like everybody else. But what determines whether my capacity to use words will be great or not great was the choices, or would be the choices that I make concerning that gift. And that's how I got into this place and this conversation of trying to discern and distill and ultimately deploy what it is that I felt that God had given me. I have something that I teach and I call it native abilities. Under native abilities, I say to people that the best thing or the easiest thing or the fastest thing to get you to a place of relevance, impact, and wealth is what is germane to you or what is native to you. What was my problem when I used to fall into depression was that words were too easy for me to speak. Words were too easy for me to write. Whether I wanted to write them in poetry, I wanted to write prose, I wanted to write fiction, or I just wanted to express myself, it came so easy to me that I did not realize that it was a gift. And because I did not realize that it was a gift, I did not even ever think that it had power. Every one of us, if you look at the Bible, you know, I'm a Bible teacher amongst many other things, yes? So I'm going to come from that place of a Bible teacher to say to you that when you look at your Bible in Genesis chapter 1, in verse 26, when he said that God gave man, you know, God said, let us make man in our image and after our likeness and let them have dominion. It was God's voicing or verbalizing or vocalizing the fact or the plan that he was going to put a species on earth who were going to be endowed with the things with which they can rule the earth. And so I call that your first dominion. There is not one person right now online with me, and maybe all the others that are going to join, that do not have a fantastic gift, that do not have a potentially powerful gift, that do not have a potentially strong gift that can take them to the place of impact, fulfillment, and ultimately wealth. But the truth is, we look at those things and we think, not good enough. Oh, if I just would have the gift that the other man had. Oh, if I would just be the person, that person is. But you have exactly what you need on the inside of you, that if you make the right decisions concerning, they will bring you to the place where you get you get to go where you want to go and where you need to go. These things, like I said, I call them your first dominion. Some people call it your gifts. Other people call it your talents. The things that are easy for you to do. The things that excite and energize you. The things that you readily serve other people with. Those things that you are known for. There's some of you, when someone, maybe in your family, if someone needs something, and they are looking for the person who knows where to get something. They know you are the person that has the information. So you see them dialing their phones, you see them calling you to say to you, I'm looking for this kind of lace. Where do you think I will find it? Oh, I need an orange pair of shoes. Where do you think I'll find it? Oh, we have this wedding coming in our family. We need purple gele. Do you know someone who makes purple gele in XYZ kind of fabric? And there you are. Yes, the gift of resourcefulness. You are sitting down there and they're calling you. And on the tip, as they're calling you, are saying to them, wait, let me make a call. You whip out your phone, you place a call, you call someone, you say, we're looking for orange shoes. I saw some in your shop, or do you have any? And in 30 minutes, you take these people and you take this information and you hand it to those people, and boom, the things, their solutions, they have solutions to their problem. And yet every end of year, like me, you are in depression. And you are in depression because you do not believe that you've truly lived your life. Number two, you do not believe that you made any impact. Number three, something is hungering on the inside of you. You are hungry on the inside of you and you have no fulfillment. On top of that, you have no money to show for 1 year of existence. And so you find yourself in that place and you're saying, Kai, thy life is not good enough. There's something missing. If I would just have Sister B's gift, if I will have, this person's gift and that person's gift. Do you know what the gap is that you have? The gap is that you took your resourcefulness, because it is easy for you to be observant, to go on Instagram and you can easily memorize who says what. Because you take that gift of resourcefulness and what you do is you think everybody is resourceful. You think everybody is resourceful. I have a sister, she's very good at many things. But if I want to make her life miserable, all I need to say to her is go to my wardrobe and check to the left and you'll find this Ankara that is green and yellow and black. Bring it for me. I promise you 30 minutes later, I'm waiting for her. And if I get up and I go back to that same room, she's standing right in front of that Ankara that I asked her to bring, and she can't recognize what it is I had explained to her. And I will pull it out and I will say, see what I asked you to bring. And then she'll be like, I was looking at it, I didn't find it. But my sister is very good in other details, but this detail is missing. What does that tell you? She can't be my stylist. But she's good at what she's good at. If we continue to look down on our giftings, we will not be able to use them to bring anything into the world. That's number one. Number two, if you downplay it, because some of us look down on it and others downplay it. Someone says, oh, you are so resourceful. See, 15 things we needed. You've already sorted out 13. What should we pay? You say, oh, no, I don't do that for money. I just do it for my friends. You are leaving money on the table. When you continue to do it for them, here's what usually would happen. After a while, you find yourself in that place where you are feeling really bad. And you're feeling bad because you're feeling used. The things that you have, that you've been resourced with, and you do effortlessly, you are not using them to make money. Those kinds of people would enroll in school to go and do what is hard for them. You see somebody who is resourceful that should just be a connector is inside one school trying to become a doctor, when all you need to do is pull all your capacity for resourcefulness and put a spin around it and begin to market that. So I'm saying to you that no gift is small, no gift is bad. The choices we make determine whether we have good gifts or we have bad gifts. There's an analogy I like to give, is the analogy of a vulcanizer. Now, every one of us is gone to a vulcanizer. Well, those of us who own cars, you've gone to those people by the roadside and you are saying to them, please fix my tire for me. Now, when you get there, the vulcanizer can decide, oh, okay, so just looking, say, is this tire? And he puts air in this one tire, collects his 200 naira, and you drive off. That's a vulcanizer who does not understand that he's not in the business of putting air in tires. He's in the business of ensuring that people drive safe cars. The vulcanizer who understands that he's in the business he's in business to ensure that people drive safe cars, get what he does. When you come, you say, oh, my left tire at the back, is lost air. I want you to put air for me. He doesn't start there. He says to you, okay, madam, or okay, sir, let me gauge all the tires first. He goes around your 4 tires and he gauges them. And then he comes back, because I have, those days I used to drive myself. I had a vulcanizer like that. He will come and stand by the side of the window and he will tap. I would wind down, he would say, ma'am, that tire is 28. This one is 33. This one is 30. And that one is 25. Ma, this your kind of car. It should be driving on 35 all round. So if I put air on the one you notice is low because it's 25, your car is still not balanced. Ma, I'm going to have to put air in all 4 of them. Now, he has told me something without saying. He has told me that I'm driving, if he puts air in one tire and I drive off, I'm putting my life at a risk. That's what he said to me without saying it to me. What do you think I will do? I will say to him, put air in all 4 tires. When I drive out of that, or out of his shop, guess what happens? He's earned 800 naira when he should have earned 200 naira. Because he knows he's in the business of keeping me alive. Drivers, for instance. You are a driver and every day you keep waking up and all you do is you toss and you turn. And you are saying to yourself, one day I will find a great job. One day I'll begin to do something else. And that's the conversation you have in your head. Do you know why? It's because you do not understand what your job is. As a driver, your job is not to move a car from one place to the other. The gift or the skill you have is to ensure that your passengers arrive at their destination safe. So what you're selling is not just a driving skill. What you're selling, you are a safety officer, because every time you are behind the wheel, anyone sitting in that car, their lives are in your hand. No gift is too small. No gift is too big. And no gift is inconsequential. Your gifts are what I call value neutral. They are just gifts until you decide that they will be great gifts or they will be good gifts. If, like the first vulcanizer, you decide, I'm just here to put air in tires, The driver who doesn't know your profession will drive up and say to you, put in the left. You put in the left and you leave. But if you know that you're in the business of keeping people safe, when they come, you don't take their word for it. I've been at a vulcanizer when he took a look at my tire and said, ma, that's your tire for back. It don't expire. I said, because I didn't know at that point that tires could expire. Said, ma, he started to tell me, say, if you look at this edge, if you look at one thing, he said, tires have expiry date. I said, He said, ma, that tire has expired. What does it mean that my tire has expired? I said, ma, that tire fit box anytime. As you put up, in fact, if you park your car somewhere and it is sufficiently hot enough, the tire can disintegrate on its own. Not to talk if you are driving and you are driving fast. Omo, who wants to die? What did you think I did? Of course, I changed my tire quickly. He's an ordinary vulcanizer. That's what we say. But he's not ordinary. And the reason why he's not ordinary is even if he decided to become a vulcanizer because he liked the smell of tires, he took time to learn. And if he learned from the right boss or master, they would have taken him through. Before they teach him to put air in the tires, they would have taught him how to gauge tires. They would have taught him how to assess the health of tires. But when we drive into the vulcanizer's workshop, we don't think about safety. We just think in our mind, my tire has picked a nail. Can you just fix this one tire for me? So I will go. Sometimes when they even say to us, ma, you need to work on 2 other tires, in your mind, you quickly say, they want to take my money. Until they begin to have the life and death conversations with you. That's when you realize this man is not just someone who pumps tires. He's someone who is responsible in this moment for my safety in another moment. Does this make sense? So the moment I answered the question for myself, that the reason why I found myself in a slump towards the end of every year was because I did not appreciate what I had been gifted. I made a decision. My decision was to find the power within my gift. But it's the gift of words, yes. Everybody else can speak, yes. So it didn't look like much until I sat down and said, okay, I needed to find out who my gift will serve. What ways can I use my gift to serve mankind? What skills can I dredge or process my gift into? What services can I render with my gift? And all of a sudden, powerless me from September through to every December ending every year became someone who was potentially powerful. I had not done anything with my gift. The only thing that had changed was I now could see that I had something that could become something of value to another person. So what did you think that I did? I started to learn. I started to read up on what to do with words. I realized that I could write books. And at this moment, I've written 25 books, authored 25 books. That's the same me who was always sad and depressed is an author of 25 books. Think about it. Another example, because it looks like today is a day of examples, is sometimes you see 2 people. Both of them have gifts. You know, if I could mention names, I would have mentioned names, but today is not the day I mention names. But I'll use, say, for instance, 2 gospel artists that I knew. One of them was very gifted voice-wise. His voice was powerful. The other one had a passable voice. But I had the privilege of interacting with both of them up close. And what I realized was the one whose voice was about average. If I had a program and I wanted to bring a gospel artist, I would always take the one whose voice was average rather than take the one that had a great voice. What was the problem? The problem was that the one whose voice was average made a decision to use what he lacked to bridge the gap of what he lacked with character. So he made a decision to be a good person. He made a decision to be a person of discipline. He made a decision. I mean, he's a gospel artist. He made a decision to be pure, to live a life of righteousness. The other one got so carried away with his gift. Honestly good with his gift. But guess what? You couldn't trust him with anything. And so when he came to let us make major decisions, who did you think I took? I went with the one whose gift was passable. He didn't have the best voice in the world, but what he lacked in his voice, he made up in character, he made up in charisma, he made up in just having his personhood. So every time we needed to do something, he would be the one I'll call. And everybody would say, oh, let's call that person. I'm like, I don't want that person. He by his decisions, his great gift is now a bad gift. In my opinion, a lot of us are gifted, even if we don't feel like we're 100%. You are 70, you are 60, you are 80. What would take your gift from 60 to 90 is not more of the gift. It is the decision that you make, the choices that you make along the way. So again, let me give you another example. One artist decides that they're not gospel artists. Both of them are artists. One decides that my lyrics will be clean. I will not use lyrics that have swear words, and I definitely would not do music videos. I will not do music videos that are denigrating of other people. So everything I do will be clean. It will be wholesome. Parents can play my music where their children are, and they won't need to ask their children to cover their ears. Two people equally gifted, but one decided that he was going to take his gift. I'm not saying he needs to become a gospel artist. He just decides that he's going to utilize or deploy his gift in such a way that he is empowered, or he's empowering others rather than breaking them down. And the other one decides, no, I want fast money. So I'm going to use all the swear words in this word. I'm going to do this with my gift. I'm going to do that with my gift. And tomorrow we're wondering why one lasted. His legacy is on. You can see that they are old, that their legacy is still standing. And the young ones are falling and dying like flies. What do you think the difference is? The difference is the one who decided to keep his lyrics pure. If you check him, he's also decided not to ingest things that compromise his body organs. Everything about your gifting is a decision. That's what I'm saying here today. And it's not a long teaching because I want to take questions. But everything, every single thing about your gift is a decision. If your gift will be a good one, is the decision you make, the choices you make on a consistent basis. If you decide to go to school to learn, it's the choices you make. If you decide to go to be in a group of people, the choices you make determine whether your gift is good and bad. God is that God who gives all of us, whether you're Christian or you're not Christian, whether you're Muslim, it really doesn't matter. If you are gifted by a God. And if you're gifted by this God that I serve, his gifts are good all the time. But people have taken the gifts that God has given them and they've messed up their lives by the thing that God gave them to empower them, to fulfill them, and to cause them to make impact. Take a look around you. Economically, globally, things are melting for many people. Isn't this the time that we need to sit down and begin to take an inventory of the gifts that you have? This is the time to take an inventory of the gifts that you have, and then back each one of them with a decision. Say, this gift, I decide by this gift to do X, Y, Z. I decide by this other gift to do X, Y, Z. It is the day for you to make those decisions, because that's about the only way that you get anything done that makes a difference. It's about the only way you get anything done that makes a difference. Does this make sense? Is someone with me so far? So when you think about this thing that I'm saying to you, I'm saying to you that you can be great in the things that you have been endowed with if you make the right decision. Yes, I know that there are things like your first influence, that is who your parents are, who were your guardians, the people who inspired you early in life, in your formative years. They have an impact in what you may decide. They may have an impact in what you decide to do with your gift. But you come from the shop with a gift that is value neutral. Your gift is neither good nor bad, until you make a decision and say, oh, I want to use it wrong, I want to use it right. A lot of us are where we are today because we're not utilizing our gifts properly. We're not utilizing them. Everything for us is a sachet. Everything for us is on the surface. Everything for us is we're not doing the hard work that we ought to do. We're just trying to pretend that we know what we're doing. But the truth is, we do not know what we're doing. And because we do not know what we're doing, or we haven't intentionally determined what we're doing, we find that we're not getting the work done properly. Does this make sense? So value neutrality is a principle that directs us to keep our emotions and biases in check when dealing with certain situations. It says, look, someone can sing. You don't look at them and say, oh, this one can sing good songs. Any voice can sing any kind of song. Your job, when the gift is yours or in your children, is to guide them or guide yourself to say, look, make the right choices. From something as simple as where you go to school, who will be your friends, who are you going to be rehearsing with, can determine how ultimately you deliver your gift impacts the word or does not impact the word. Does this make sense? Reporters, judges are a couple of professions where value neutrality is demanded. Value neutrality, if you're a judge, you can't take sides. If you work if you are, well, supposedly, if you were in those days when journalism was journalism, you are not allowed to take sides. You just report the facts and allow your listeners or your audience make their decision. The way life is set up, we come from God with power embedded within us. And this power that is embedded within us manifests as gift, talents, and some of us call it potential. And this forms the seed or the bedrock of the success or otherwise that we can become. Even better news is that this is not something a select people enjoy. Every one of us has an endowment. And every one of us comes from God. Nothing is good, nothing is bad. I take you to the Bible and you think about the account of Gideon. Gideon was a man who was, if you remember when the account about Gideon opened, he was threshing wheat. The Bible said he was threshing wheat in a cave. He was fearful. Because in his mind, he had determined that he was the least of his father's house. His father's house was the least of his tribe. His tribe was the least of the nation of Israel. So he had capped himself and his ability and his potential and what he could do. And he had determined that all that he's doing is cave-like. He couldn't, in his mind, his play space was not beyond the cave. But then the angel of the Lord showed up And this same Gideon, who could not see himself beyond threshing wheat in the cave, was the same Gideon that God sent with 300 men to go and fight 143,000 men, and he won. The same Gideon that was so fearful that he took wheat and went into the cave and started to winnow it just to try to get the seed out of the chaff, which was not exactly effective if you are doing it in the cave. Is the same Gideon. By the time he saw himself, he was reintroduced to himself. This became the same Gideon who became that Gideon who went to war. He had picked 30,000 men, and God told him 30,000 men are too much to fight 143,000. God said to him, take them to the river. First of all, tell them, whoever is afraid should go home. Many people left. And then he took the rest of them to the river, and he applied the test. Gideon was left with 300 men. 300 men. And 300 men walked. Does this make sense? 300 men walked. He came out victorious. What was the difference between this Gideon and the other Gideon? The difference between this Gideon and the other Gideon was a decision. Somebody made it their point of their job to introduce this Gideon, the second Gideon, to the first Gideon to the second Gideon. The second Gideon was trapped on the inside of the first Gideon. But because the first Gideon did not know who he was on the inside, he was willing to take cave living. But the angel came. It's interesting how the angel described him. The angel looked at him and said, you mighty man of valor. Gideon did that and did that. So, are you talking to me? He said, yes, you. You are the mighty man of valor. And Gideon said, me. You don't, let me read my CV. And Gideon told him all about his smallness. And they told him, yes, I know that's how you see you, but this is how we see you. This is who we have created you to become. And this is what we have packed on the inside of you. Now you choose who you want to be. Gideon said, I don't quite trust myself. Will you be patient with me and help me process this understanding till my mind can imbibe and take it? The angel said, yes, what do you need? Gideon set fleeces. He asked questions. The angel, what's his name? The angel said, yes, whatever you need. At some point, Gideon caught the revelation that I'm trying to transfer to you today. Gideon realized that who God called him to be would not begin to scream until he made a decision that that life was worth living. The moment Gideon made that decision that his life was worth living at the mountaintop, that was all it took. Do you remember that in that same account in Judges, there was a day that Gideon, he was still fearful. So he decided to take a walk to the camp of the enemy. And the Bible said, as Gideon walked into the camp of the enemy, that he could hear someone who had had a dream concerning him. And the person was relaying the dream about how something tumbled and their camp was crushed and all of that. And the other person said, oh, I can interpret that dream. I said, really, you can? He said, yes. What does it mean? He said, oh, that is the sword of the Lord and the sword of Gideon. Gideon could hear. And the moment he heard that the enemy was already afraid of him, even though he saw himself small, he went back and he mobilized his men. And he came. Today, what I have come to do, because it's my responsibility from heaven to help you become. It is my responsibility to introduce you to the king on the inside of you. That's why they called me the kingmaker. What I have come to do today is to help you see that there is something inside of you and you need to wake up and embrace it by a decision. It's not that when you get up and you say yes, it's not that immediately you will begin to fly. You would require processing, because if you remember the account of Gideon, he required a bit of processing. But the moment he said yes, his life began to change. His life began to change. We started to see that with his decision, he submitted to the processing. The angel said, the first thing I need you to do is go and destroy the shrine. Go and destroy the altar of Baal, even in your father's house. Gideon said, I will do it, but how will I do it? Am I able to do it? Eventually he said, okay, well, I will do it. What I'm going to do is I'll do it at night. So Gideon trained his muscle. And he went at night, he broke down the altar. Everybody woke up in the city the next morning and said, who broke this altar? And there was a lot of noise. And people started to say it was Gideon. Gideon did not say anything. I'm sure he went back to the cave to hide. But when his father stood and said, yes, it's my son, what are you going to do about it? Gideon realized, he received the signal that men and women had been waiting for him to make a decision that could change his life, potentially change his life and the life of other people around him. Your decision today could be the decision that says, I'm going to submit myself to training. I'm going to step into a room with someone who can help me distill what is on the inside. Your decision today might be, I need to walk into a room where someone can clearly define me and introduce me to me. Your decision today, it might be somebody had defined and introduced you to you before, but you have kept it on the shelf. Your decision today could be, I'm going to take that definition of myself off the shelf. I'm going to dust it, and starting tomorrow, the 1st of March, I am going to own who I am, and I'm going to put my hand to work. And maybe some of you would agree with me. How many of us know that Kirk Franklin is a successful gospel musician? How many of us know that? How many of us also know that Kirk can't quite sing? How many of us know that? He's not a B.B. Winans. He's not a Michael Stampley when it comes to using his voice. I'm sure you know that, right? But Kirk has a large team. All of them are singing. Kirk is jumping and he's throwing one word here. What did Kirk do? He decided that even if I cannot sing well, I have an idea about how to do the business of gospel music. So he said, I may not be gifted in the singing proper, but because I know why, I can gather everybody who knows how. John Maxwell, my mentor, because I'm a John Maxwell trained coach and mentor, said this. He said, the one who knows why would always be the boss of he who knows how. What Kirk Franklin did was he knew why that kind of music was required. He knew. And because he knew why, he gathered everybody else who knew how, but didn't have a why. So the next thing I'm trying to help you see is if you know why, you should get up from where you've been hiding. If you know why you should come out of the cave today and put your gifts, into processing and ultimately on display. If you know why, your life is about to change. By this time in September, you are not in a funk and in a slump. But everybody, by August will be waiting for you, like they will be waiting for me those years, for you to say, for you to begin to hiss and sigh and not want to get out of bed. Everybody is waiting for you, would be waiting for you in September to tell you, Bele, your time will soon come, and just disappoint them this September and say, nobody is going to be telling me, how are you doing? Because I'm going to take this decision today, and I'm going to step into the place of my true identity, and I'm going to live from my why. That's all that you need, is the first step. Is the first step of all the things that you need to do. The first step is make that decision. Nobody is going to pity me in August. Nobody is going to pity me in September. Nobody is going to pity me in December. No one is going to pity me. From this moment on, I'm taking my life by the horns. I am not the worst person, put on the gen. I'm not the worst person on earth. I am going to stand and do what I need to do. I'm going to go to school. I'm going to get a coach. I'm going to get a mentor. I'm going to belong in a group. I'm going to go in for rehearsals. I'm going to do whatever it takes, because the power is on the inside of me. It won't cry. That's why Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory, he said that the graveyard is the richest plot of land around the world. That's what he said. He said the grave is the richest piece of land around the world, the cemetery, because a lot of people died with their gifts and their aspirations in those places. And why did they die? Why? They died because they refused to make a decision. So it's not the school that your neighbor went to that made him stand out. It's the decisions he made that made him stand out. Because there are other people who went to the same exact school as he did, and they're standing still. I promise you, there are other people like that. They are standing still because they refuse to make the kind of decisions. So number one, you need an introduction to who you are. Number two, you need to discern what you carry on the inside of you. Number three, you need to recognize why. Why is this conversation important? Why are we saying the things that we're saying now? Why is it that, you are feeling the slump? Why? What is it that you need to do to get out of the slump? Those who have made that decision and have deployed their power, even if a naira becomes 2,000, a dollar becomes 2,000 naira, and we're praying to God that that's not the case. But even if that were the case, they will not beg, they will not borrow. Because here's the final thing I want you to see. For every gift that is on the inside of you, you can make money in 4 different ways out of it. If fulfillment is not enough inspiration for you, if impact is not enough inspiration for you, I am sure wealth is enough inspiration for you. For every single gift that you have, you can, if you dimension your gifts properly, you can make money 1, 2, 3, 4 ways. What's my superpower? I tell people my superpower is words, even though I've now found out that my real superpower is wisdom. But if we take words and wisdom, let's even combine both of them. I told you that I've written 25 books. Just this week, we ordered a reprint of one of my books. Just this week. And I said to my print partner, I said, oh, that means that we're selling these books. He said, yes, now we're selling. It's beautiful when I wake up some days and I'm thinking, I just need 100,000 naira that I'm not going to dip into my hand into what I have there to bring out. And then somebody will call and say, oh, we're having an event, and we believe that you have a book that, would work as part of our party favors. And I'll say, okay, what is the event? They will share with me, and I'll say, oh, I recommend this book. Even this week, or no, last week, someone reached out to me and said, look, I'm having something, and I want 30 books to put in the back in the gift packs that I'm giving out. This same gift of words and wisdom is why you're on YouTube with me this evening. When I finish this same gift of words and wisdom, when I finish this session, I'm going to be teaching a Bible college. The Bible college is one that I set up. This same gift and this same wisdom, tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., if you come on YouTube, you'll find me there. I'm teaching another set of people. Every single day, I'm deploying things. I'm giving value. How do you expect value not to come back to me? But it began the day I made the decision that I will no longer live my life sorry for myself. I'll no longer live my life feeling like it's because I come from a village in Edo State, that's why my life is the way it is. I'll no longer live my life feeling like it's because I attended a state university, that's why my life is the way it is. I'll no longer live my life feeling like it's because I studied English language and I did not study law or something exotic. That's why my life is the way it is. I had to sit down and say to myself, so what do you have? I'll close by sharing with you another Bible account. The account of the widow whose husband died and left her in debt. When she went to the prophet and asked the prophet and shared her problem with the prophet did not write her a check. Instead, the prophet said to her, what do you have at home? And she said, oh, I have one small cruse of oil. And the prophet said, that's all you need. What I need you to do is go and borrow vessels, and do not borrow a few. Go home, shut the door, and begin to pour your oil. When you finish pouring your oil, sell and pay your debt. There is a power on the inside of you. And if you make a decision, it can bring you to greatness. It can be the reason why you are someone that people will wake up daily and say, praise God because you lived. And I'm challenging you today to get up. Don't sit down and allow, whether it's Aboki FS or Binance Finance or whatever they call themselves, to determine your joy levels on a daily basis. When you wake up, the first thing you do is you go and check how much is dollar today. What is that to you? The reason why you have the time to be scamping on looking for the news of what dollar is today is because you refuse to say yes to what is on the inside. What do you have in your hand? If you don't know how to distill it, come. We will help you distill it. It's what I do for a living. What do you have in your hand? Why do you need to get up? Who are you? Would you allow the Holy Spirit, or will you allow someone who can truly see you, introduce you to you? What have you been endowed with? All this and much more are the things that I help you go, distill so that you can become all that God has called you to be. That's why I'm excited about homecoming. Homecoming wasn't even my idea. It was someone who sat with me, Mr. Obafemi. I'm about to introduce him to come and share a few things with you. He sat with me for a couple of, maybe less than 2 hours. And he said to me, I think this is one of the things you should do. The reason why he could distill something like homecoming in 2 hours with me was because he could see the value. If you can't see your value, can others see the value that is in you? Because the moment you get to that point and it is done, oh my God, you come to a place of peace and rest, and by that you will go many places. Like I told you, I was going to teach for about an hour. I didn't even think I'll teach up to an hour, speak up to an hour, I should say. But we're here now, so it's an hour later. And yes, I have Sam Obafemi in here, the octopus himself. Bros, how you doing?
Good to have you, boss. And that was a powerful talk, powerful session. Good evening. It's a pleasure to be here, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can hear me. I I would like to see in the chat room how much value have you received from BMM's talk. Pastor Bidemi's session was very powerful. So I'm watching the chat room now. I want you to put in an interesting emoji that befits how much you have received tonight from Pastor Bidemi Mark-Mordi. I want you to also write on a scale of 1 to 10 how much it has been very impactful. I've been reading the comments all evening, and people are saying, I need a new cycle, I need help, I'm loving this. And that is exactly why we have you tonight. Like BMM has said, she's living in purpose and she has cracked or hacked the code for living on earth. And I'm very happy that we are having this conversation tonight that has to do with your calling, your talent, your assignment on earth. She told you that in a few minutes while we sat and met, we coded and I saw through her calling. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why I am inviting you to take advantage of an opportunity of a lifetime. So let me ask you, if there was an opportunity for you to learn directly from BMM on the subject of purpose, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you take it? Will you take it for one where you will say, nah, or will it be certainly a 10, right? I like that. I can see Jumoke saying certainly a 10. So, guys, I have an opportunity for you tonight. By virtue of BMM's generosity and her level of grace, we're making available for you a course called the DNA of Purpose, and we're giving you at a very discounted rate. So tonight, for the next 24 hours, any of you that goes to the link that will be posted in the comment section, you're going to be taking advantage of a promo code, and it is available for 24 hours only. So you have to take quick advantage of this now. My guys on the tech team will post the promo code and the link. You must take advantage of it immediately. Click the link, it's been posted on the comment section. Copy it, post it on your browser, and then go and enter. You will see input your name and other details. Then click on review and pay. Then enter the discount code, which is HCFEB. HCFEB. That is Homecoming February. HCFEB. Once you enter that promo code, you're going to have an exclusive discount for this course. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to live a life of purpose, like some of us are humbled and privileged to be living, you want to attend this course. Let me ask you some questions. What does purpose mean? And what is your purpose in life? Are you living in purpose? Are you around people that are inspiring and firing your purpose? When your time on earth is done, would you have completed your purpose? What would you want to be remembered for? If you want answers to these questions, then you must register for this course. And if you want an exclusive privilege of being within the cycle with BMM, then you should attend this course. My guys are scrolling this video you are watching is the module for the course that you are going to get access to, and you will not regret it. So if you want to attend your purpose, make sure you click on that link, register, and it's a self-paced course. So you can actually go online and take the course at your pace. Now, let me quickly introduce something very fantastic and profound for young men. If you're a young man, if you're a young man on this call right now, I want you to put up a thumbs up in the comment section. Guys only. Ladies, please step aside. Valentine just passed, so step aside. Young men, let's show up. Young men, please step to the rostrum. Young men, I have an announcement. BMM and the Octopus are bringing to you a mentoring opportunity for 9 months that is called Wise Young Rich Rulers. Wise Young Rich Rulers. Ladies, okay, not ladies, guys, if you want to be godly, ethical, productive, purposeful, and wealthy, this is your program. Now, let me tell you the biggest news. The biggest news that it is that it is free. It's absolutely free to be a part of this. However, we are shopping for 12 promising young men. Only 12 promising young men, and we will screen you, we would engage you, interview you before we pick the best 12 that will be beneficiaries of this first cohort of the Wise Young Rich Rulers program. So my guys have posted the link. If you know a guy in your family, if you have a brother, a father, a son, a cousin, a nephew, a friend, a colleague in the office that is young, that is godly, that wants to live purposefully, that wants to be productive and be wealthy and have direct access for mentoring with BMM and myself, guys, this is when you tell them to register on this link immediately. The first cohort, guys, is starting on March 9th. I'm talking about next Saturday, the Saturday after this Saturday, which is day after tomorrow, the right next Saturday is the first cohort. So you don't have all the time to ruminate and doubt and argue. Share this link on your WhatsApp status, share this link on Facebook, share this link on Twitter, share this link on Instagram, and get any young man to register because they just may be the lucky one of the lucky 12. They will thank you forever because by the grace of God, after 9 months, any of these 12 people, their life will never be the same again. The first cohort starts on March 9th. We are not placing a limit per se. It is the quality of the registration that will determine the quality that we're going to pick from the candidates. So if you just go to the link, you will see the details there. Let them fill the form. We're going to do a very thorough selection. And the 12 people that will join this cohort, by the mercies of God, would not regret it because their life will never remain the same again. So, guys, it's either you are taking the DNA for a purpose and the mentoring registration for guys. For ladies, make sure you are not forgetting to register for DNA or purpose. You really cannot not register. Let me close by saying this statement. I am grateful to God that I'm living a life of purpose today because early on, my eyes opened to why God sent me, to whom God sent me, and why I was sent. Why I was sent, to whom I was sent, and how I was going to complete the journey. And I have been privileged to meet very inspirational souls like BMM who are further helping me fulfill purpose. So I want to make this a challenge and a charge to you. This is not flattery, and this is not psyching, and this is not motivational talk. If your life must count, you should register for DNA of purpose. You should register for DNA of purpose. If your life will count, register for DNA of purpose. If your life will count, register for DNA of purpose because you will not ever play a sub game again. You will not play an average game. You will not play a low game. You will not play a slow game. You will not play a mediocre game. You would complete the work God has sent you because it is working for you. By the way, make sure you registered on the link that brought you to this class because we're going to email this information to everyone all over again. John, they are saying the first link is not opening. So you may want to just put only the link, excluding the other content around it. Just the link. Let's post it so that everybody can copy it and put in their browser. Then let's also send an email blast to everyone immediately so that they can click it from inside their mailbox and register it. Don't worry, guys. The first link will be emailed to you immediately. The first link will be emailed to everyone immediately. Don't delay. Don't delay in registering for DNA of purpose. Don't forget, if your life will count, if your parents will be proud, your siblings, your children, please don't make the mistake of not registering. Kende Roche says, please define young men. If you are 18 and above. Now,
as long as you're not 50 yet.
Exactly.
I know what you're asking. And if you're not 50 yet.
Provided you're above 18, you're most likely, I'll prefer that you're working and you're not 50 yet, like BMM has said, because the goal is to make you wealthy, godly, purposeful, productive, and really make you become better than you are currently. So you really don't have an excuse. Don't forget, copy the link for Wise Young Rich Rulers, put it on Facebook, put it on WhatsApp status, share it in your WhatsApp groups, put it on your Twitter, put it on your Instagram. Go as far as possible to share, because 12 people that will join this program, if they came through you, they will remember you forever. This is one thing I can guarantee, because the Holy Spirit is involved in this one. The DNA of purpose, don't forget to register and take advantage of that course, because you want your life to count. So once again, thank you, BMM, for inviting us and having this session. I'll pass the baton back.
Are you going to ask me a question? Because I'm supposed to be taking questions. Thank you, Sam, for that. That's the octopus himself, people. I asked him why the octopus, and let me see if I can find his answer, because I was asking him, what does this mean? And if you have questions, is the section where I take your questions. But while you are looking for your questions, I want to share with you why the octopus. I asked you that question, Sam. Do you remember?
Yes,
Maybe you should just.
Okay, so why am I the octopus? First and foremost, I'm the octopus because I love to help people find solutions to their problems. It's a preoccupation for me. And so I'm happy to be on this call, because imagine the 12 people that are coming on the Wise Young Rich Rulers, who are going to be asking a lot of questions. One of the things that BMM and I want to do for you guys that come for the mentoring program is, how do you navigate life? How do you navigate career and purpose and family life and health and wealth and constant pressure of economy? So the octopus constantly tries to find resources for people and help them solve their problems. And it's just an absolute delight to be able to be a problem solver for as many people as possible. Guys, please throw in your question and BMM is going to answer them. We have about 15 minutes before we wrap up the entire program, and I think you should take advantage of these 15 minutes. Please throw in your questions quickly and let's go. Let's go. The link is working now. I can see the feedback. The link for DNA of Purpose is working. Don't make a mistake. Don't delay. Register for DNA of Purpose. Make your life count, guys. And for the registration for the Wise Young Rich Rulers, guys, you want that male figure in your family to be incubated, guided, mentored, and given direction by the one and iconic BMM, and with the privilege of myself being part of the program. So let's get that running as quickly as we can. Fantastic. BMM, it seems there's no question for you tonight.
It looks like I did a great job, isn't it?
You were on fire, boss.
I did a great job. So if I did a great job, then I'm glad. Is it going to be online? Yes.
Yes.
Online.
It's going to be online, yes.
Virtual only, yes. Virtual only.
Okay. Sylvia said, "Is there an age limit for DNA or purpose training?" No. The
No,
DNA or purpose training
actually,
is yes. The
yeah,
DNA or purpose
we
training.
even have for children. We have for children from age 7, I think, to 16, and then we have for adults from age 18 upwards. So no, there's no age limit for the DNA of purpose, please. No. Because
Fantastic.
Moses was taking mountains at 85. What are we talking about? Sorry, what's his name?
Caleb.
Caleb was
Caleb.
taking mountains at 85. And yes, Moses
Yes.
was taking territory at
Yes.
85, was leading men out of Egypt at
Yes.
85. What are we talking about? Nobody is 85 yet here, I think. So yes. No, how can
Fantastic.
you
So,
harness multiple gifts? How can you harness multiple gifts? It always makes sense to begin with what I call the leverage gift. The leverage gift is the simplest, the easiest, the cheapest.
hmm,
Once
hmm,
you work on the easiest, the cheapest, the fastest, what you will find is it would also inspire you to do the work of the other ones, because not all gifts are equal, yes? And that means that
yes.
some gifts require more work than others. So when I got to the place where I had to do this, I chose the easiest, the cheapest, the fastest. I didn't have a lot of money to do exotic things. I was talking to someone today, one of my mentees, and I was telling her that when I started to do videos, they were not good videos, but I was doing them anyway. And she said, "No, but I met you doing videos in 2015 and they were beautiful." And I'm like,
Wow.
"Oh my God, what those videos, I wouldn't even watch them now." But she thought they were nice. But the point is, I started with the cheapest, the easiest, the fastest.
Hmm,
Because if
hmm.
it's cheap, if it's easy, if it's fast, you have results. And there is a
Yes.
way that results get
Walk
to
in victory.
to further inspire and encourage and motivate you to do the hard work. So if you
Yes.
want to start, I know I said four strings, and I know many of us are multifaceted in our gifting. Just begin with the cheapest, the fastest, the easiest. And once you do that, and people say, well done, you won't sleep again. You will wake up to do the next one, because there is
Yes.
a well done addiction that happens to us. For those of us who are living for impact, when people say, "Oh, you did so well," that night I can't sleep, because all of my duties are like that. And I'm thinking, what else can I do? It's not that I have an approval addiction. It's just that, yes, I have done well, and men have attested that I've done well. I want to do more so that more men can attest. So again, Kate, the easiest, the cheapest, the fastest. That's
Wow.
always where to start.
Wow.
If you have multiple gifting and you want to harness them, there is always the one that is your leverage that becomes your calling card. I hope I answered your question. Who's next? Questions?
Powerful, powerful. My team have told me to tell everyone on this call that there is a gift waiting in your inbox. Make
Oh,
sure
wow.
that you check your inbox. If we don't have your email address, the link on the chat section right now is where you should leave your email address. It is that link that ends HCFeb Gifts. HCFeb Gifts. So, guys, make sure we have your email address so that you can get access to the gifts that we've got for you for the month of February. And let me say before we go that this is a monthly series, so you should be on the lookout for the March edition. Always make sure you check your mailbox or check our social media handles. My team would now post all our social media handles on in the comment section. Our handle for Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, and even our YouTube channel that is currently live. We're going to make sure you have them because you should be on the lookout for the March edition. So, just so as to summarize the things you are taking away today, one, there is a gift in your inbox waiting for you. If we don't have your email address, please click the link that has been posted and register your email immediately so you can get the gift. That's number one. Number two, if you're a male figure, or you have a male figure in your family from 18 upwards, please help them register for Wise Young Rich Rulers on the link that has been posted. It is a free mentoring program, but we're going to do a very rugged screening because we're scouting for 12 people that we're going to take to the next level of their lives. So that is a very critical platform you want a male figure in your family to take advantage of. The third item is the DNA of purpose. If you want your life to count, make sure you register, and we gave you a discount, which is available by entering a promo code HC February in the link. So that is what you should do. Mark Price is saying, why is it for only male? That is the assignment we have. We
Well,
are
why is
currently,
it? Because let me answer that. It's
yes.
because for the last 4 years or going on 5 years, I have worked with women,
Mm,
and the men will say, why not us? So this is the opportunity for the men to catch up. We've always done. Right now I have 3 cohorts of mentoring with women. So this is the first one with men, and I thought, yes, let's even bring it's beautiful because we will have masterminds, we'll have guest mentees show up. It's going to be 9 months of fun,
yeah.
intense work, but fun. And you can bet, and we're not just talking about wealth, we're talking about sustainable wealth. I like to always qualify it. It's not that you be a millionaire, it's that you become a sustained millionaire, not the one that today the money is dead, next week we're asking you or you're scratching your head, because it's totally principle based. There are things you will do every day, but the bulk of the work is principle based because all of life is parametered by principles. So that's why we're going that route. Sorry,
Perfect.
ladies, no millionaire journey for you with me this year. Maybe next year.
Fantastic. So, unless we have an outstanding question, this is where I'm going to ask BMM to give us her closing thoughts as we wrap up on this call. Guys, don't forget to follow all our social media handles. Don't forget to register on those links that we have shared. Don't forget to make your life count by taking advantage of DNA of purpose, especially the promo code that closes in 24 hours. And of course, don't forget to register for your free gifts, especially if we don't have your email address, because again, you're going to need that in the month of March. So, BMM, over to you, boss.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for making homecoming with me. Please spread the word so that more people will join us for the March edition. We're going to be having fun like this. There will be editions where we come and there's no teaching. We're just having fun in conversations, and we'll pull our panel from amongst you. So keep it dialed on. What you can do is subscribe. If you subscribe to the channels and you add the email to your address book, then you would get the email and it won't go into your spam folders. Remember that I told you that every gift is great by a decision, or not great by a decision. So let's begin to do that, make those decisions. Remember, I told you that why, those who know how will always bow to those who know why. So your job is to discover why and not be running around with all the things that you think you know how to do. And finally, remember, I've told you and I'll say it again, there is a greatness on the inside of you. I do not want you to go many years like I did. Every August, you are losing your mind, you are depressed, you are weeping, you are crying, you are not sleeping, and all of those things. You are medicating simply because you can't see what your life is turned up in the course of the year. If you would just take advantage of just making a decision today, whether it's to join the DNA of Purpose course, whatever it is you do, that your first step can be, make sure you take it. What is not okay is that you leave this session today and return to business as usual. Make a decision, and whatever that decision looks like, hold on to it. You'll be amazed how far you'll go. I pray in the name of Jesus, because that's the name above every other name, that everything that you've heard today that is made you feel like, oh, something I can do, make a difference, I can do something else. I'm praying in the name of Jesus that you take the bull by the horns, and that by this time next year, when we begin to have homecoming, you'll be one of our testimonies of how this changed your life. Thank you again. God bless you. If Jesus tarries, I'll see you in March at the March edition of Homecoming. Remember, DNF Purpose course, there is a discounted rate for you right now. And wise wise young rich ruler. Yes, wise young rich ruler. I'll see you on the other side. Yes, wise young rich ruler. I'll see you on the other side of all of this. Something great is coming your way. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you to the team behind the scenes, John, Ijeoma, Ngozi, Eniola, and Mr. Bawa, and everybody else at the back end. God bless you. God bless you. And thank you to Sam the Octopus. God bless you and have a good night. Bye-bye.